Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, I wanted to go over some additional information from a tweet I put out today about, or really last night, about card prices for tournament deck lists, or like tournament winning deck lists, or even just like top 8 lists in general. The tweet I put out was just like cold prices for decks, including their sideboard. And I really didn't give context or like, you know, what the most price was and stuff like that. And it got a lot of traction in the community about people saying like, well, this doesn't include staples, or like people need to keep this in mind. So I was like, you know what, I'll do a video on it, and I'll just kind of talk about it. So I want to do this video, and the true purpose of this video, one, it's kind of cool to talk about and see like how much decks actually cost. But also, if you're a new player, this will kind of give you an idea of like how much like high level tournament deck costs in Flesh and Blood, and then also like what part of the deck is like a staple that you can use in other decks, and what part like isn't, right? Like how much of your money that you're investing, like if you invest $1,000 into a deck, how much of that $1,000 is like dual use, where you can use parts of those cards to something else, and then how part of it's not. So right here I have all these heroes. It's every hero with the exception of Emperor, because there's no real like tournament winning deck list out there, and like most of the lists are kind of wonky, so forgive me. And these are all CC heroes. These are not Blitz. If you want me to do Blitz, let me know in the comments below. I'll do Blitz as well. But I ordered it in most expensive to least expensive. And then you can't see it. I'll go over. I have the deck links to all of these, which I'll put in the description down below. And basically I took like for Icelander, I took the Michael Hamilton list, right? For Kano, I took Hayden Dale's list that he just put out on the Arsenal Patch channel. Oldheim, I used the top 8 list from Worlds, or Phi, I used Daniel, can never pronounce his last name correctly, but Daniel's list from Worlds as well, and just kind of give you an idea. So all of these lists, with the exception of Katsu, which is my list, and then Arachne, which is also my list because it's a newer hero, all these lists are like top 8 from Callings or Worlds or something very similar. So couple ground rules. One, these prices are subject to change. I'm recording this on January 12th, 2023. I'm going to put it out on the 13th. If you're watching this in March or February, you know, it might be a different price now. These are as of right now. We're going into ProQuest Season 3, which means the prices are a little bit elevated. However, I don't see that as a negative, because honestly, a lot of people are going to be building these type of decks during ProQuest Season or during Callings or during Worlds. So like prices are going to be heightened when people really care about building these decks. So I don't really see it as an issue. Right now I have it sectioned off into like, what is the deck cost with every card in the deck? Every card in this deck at its lowest like basic rate, like what is the deck going to cost? How much of that deck is staples? And over here I have what those staples are. How much are considered luxury items? And then what is the price without the luxury item cards? And then also what are class staples? So fully kitted deck, list of staples, so like Tunic, Crown of Providence is this kind of a staple card now. E-Strike, that all you got. Art of War, stuff like that. Luxury items. So for the purpose of this Google sheet, I put Command and Conquer as a luxury card. Now, I think personally that Command and Conquer is a staple. It's on the same realm it's on the same realm as E-Strike. It's on the same realm as Tunic. It is a game-defining card, arguably in a vacuum the most powerful card in the game, for the value that how much it costs, like, and you encompass everything. So I personally see it as a staple. The reason I put it in the luxury category is because a lot of comments, I mean, if I went back and counted, probably 100 comments over the last year for me on my YouTube, or 50 to 100 is, you know, I don't have Command and Conquer. What's a good replacement for it? Like, what's a good replacement for Command and Conquer? What can I put in place of Command and Conquer? So what I'm seeing is a large portion of the community, even people that are trying to play like semi-competitively, don't have a playset of this card. So I'm going to consider it a luxury. Plus, in most decks, it's a sideboard card. Most decks, not all decks, most decks. So that's why I put it as a luxury. However, you could consider it a staple. All right. So as you can see here, I'm not going to go like line by line every single little line, but I'm going to try to give context. So Icelander, this is the Michael Hamilton list. If I open it up here, I'll kind of open these up like really, really briefly to give you an idea. But this is the Michael Hamilton list. If you look at pricing, like it'll show you. So basically I'm taking most of these prices from Fab TCG. or not Fab TCG, but Fabberry, which is linked to TCG Player. I've double checked the prices of these. The cheapest printing is pretty accurate. Obviously, this is subject to change, but that's kind of where it's coming from. So this is Michael Hamilton's World Championship list that he plays first with. At the highest level, it's $1,300. That's how much. If you bought every card in his list at its lowest available price right now, it would cost you $1,300 to build the list. Now, how much of that is staples? So the staples in the list are Tunic, which right now is running about $220. You have Crown of Providence, which is running about $300. And you have E-Strike, which is running a playset of E-Strikes is running you at about $117. So all those together, like math, and if my math is off by $1 or so on this, forgive me, but is around $600 of staple cards. That means you can use these cards in other decks pretty seamlessly. Luxury items. The luxury item in this deck is Heart of Fyendal. Heart of Fyendal is very useful. It's a very good card, but it's not a card that is needed to play Icelander if you don't have it in the deck. Yes, when it comes to like World Championships, inches matter, right? Like little minuscule plays matter, but at an armory, at a PQ shoot, even at a calling level, you might not need that Heart of Fyendal to win you the event, right? So I consider that a luxury item. So $357 for that card. So if you took Heart of Fyendal out of the list, you're still paying about $1,000 for the deck. Now, when you look at class staples, I have it at $170. So obviously, like all of the ice and like wizard cards are all like inherent to this deck, but like some of the class staples are Coronet Peak, Alluvian Constellus, Metacarpus Node, Storm Striders, Blizzard, Channel Lake Frigid, all those Hypothermia. I'll consider all those staples. And when I mean staples, I mean like this is what drives the power of the deck is these specific cards. So it's $170 in class specific staples. That means $170 out of $1,300 of the deck is pretty much basically tuned for Icelander. Yes, Channel Lake Frigid can be used in Lexi as well, 100%, but for the most part, that's what you're paying. Rhinar is the next one at $1,250. Its staples are Tunic, Crown of Providence, E-Strike, and that all you got. Its luxury item is CNC, Command and Conquer. This rounds on me in Erase Face. All really good tech cards, all cards that can help you win an event. But is Rhinar without these cards? Yes. So luxury items are going to run you about $376. So if you take out CNC, this rounds on me in Erase Face, you're looking at about $874 for the deck. So as you can see, like the average cost for a fully kitted competitive Flesh and Blood deck is around, if you look at right in the middle, around $900. Now, the average cost for a Flesh and Blood deck without like a couple of these tech cards or like really high price like luxury cards, you're looking at about $650 is your average, maybe $700. So that kind of gives you an idea. Briar's $1,100. Now, this list was, just to open it up, was Christopher's World Championship top 8 list. You can see some of the pricing. Some of the class specific staples I had at $123. Like Swarming Gloomveil is a class staple. Sonata Arcanics was a big one. I had Grasp the Arknight as a class staple. Just Spellbound Creepers, right? If it's in these lists. This one didn't have Spellbound Creepers, but it actually makes this list a little bit cheaper. But you can run Snapdragon Scalers in this list. So that can be a way to make it cheaper. It all depends on what you want to do. Another thing for Crown of Providence, like all these decks that have Crown of Providence, you could run Arcanite Skullcap. And yes, Crown of Providence is way more powerful, but it also, you could still run the deck. Also, a lot of Briars right now are running Crown of Dominion, like the gold token, the gold head. So that will make the deck even cheaper. So keep that in mind. But again, this gives you an idea. This is Daniel's list. Minus Crown of Providence. I took Crown of Providence out because Daniel has since took that out of his list, and that was a really, I think, tech piece for that event. So if you don't take the Crown of Providence in there, it's $1,100 deck, $490 in staples with Tunic, E-Strike, and Art of War. And then you basically have your luxury item is CNC, which in 80% of these lists, the only luxury card I have is Command and Conquer. And then class staples are pretty cheap in Ninja as a whole. Like Ninja's arguably the cheapest class specific card list in the game, with the exception of maybe like Jeremiah. So that's kind of, how that goes. So Then you have Dorinthia here. This is Josh Lyle's most recent PQ list. I could have taken our list, but I kind of took the most recent list because a lot of the tournament winning lists for Dorinthia are kind of old at this point, like October and prior. So I took his list. Levia, I took one of the old RTN lists from Mansaint. Mansaint, obviously, like Ethan is one of the best, if not the best Levia player in the world. So it probably made sense for that one. His staples were Ardor and Crown Providence. Obviously, a lot of these you're going to see Crown Providence. Bravo, Oldheim, Arachne, Dromai. The cheapest, like, we'll go down. Like, you can kind of see this. I'll link this Google sheet down below as restricted so you can just view it. Kind of going down, like, where are the cheapest decks to play at a competitive level? The top 5 cheapest decks that can play at a competitive level are Lexi, Katsu, Dash, Azalea, and Bolton. So basically Ranger, Bolton, Dash, and Katsu. So Lexi's about $900. If you take out CNC, she can get about $600 for her. Katsu's $730 without. I don't run CNC in my like Kitty Katsu list, but some people do. Dash is $700. Azalea is only $500, honestly. And then Bolton's the cheapest at $450 right now. And I took Josh Lyle's most recent Bolton list for Dynasty, and Bolton is super cheap. Like, the only expensive cards are Enlightened Strike and Tunic and Courage of Bladehold. That's pretty much it. It's actually pretty nutty, especially because you can use Gallantry Gold in place of Rage Force Bracers, and because you're going to use it for the combo turn, right? Celestial Cataclysm, Soul Shield. Like, there's not very many expensive cards. Even the newest card that people were using, Spirit Arena, is only $18 at this point. So arguably, yes, 100% the cheapest one. So this gives you an idea if you're a new player. Arguably, if you want all the bells and whistles in your deck and you want a tournament winning deck list, you're probably looking at about $900 on average. If you don't want all the bells and whistles, you can deal with a play set of a card here and there. You're looking at about $600 to $700 average for the cards, with the most expensive still being Icelander. Yeah, this is basically where you're at, honestly. Really, the final thing you can look at is like how much would like class specific staples cost. So like if you're like, I want to play Rhinar, I need to get all the class specific staples for Rhinar. So like, what are Rhinar's power cards, right? So I have Rhinar's staples at $157, and I can tell you right now what I added into it was like scab skin leathers. You need a thing of that. You need gambler's gloves. You need swing big. You want to have beast within. Obviously, it's a good staple. Pat call. And stuff like that. Reckless swing I added into there. Obviously Blood Rush Bellow, which is super cheap now. It's insane how cheap that card is now. So that kind of gives you an idea. So I didn't include what class staples were. If you want me to do a video on that, I can kind of give you an idea of that, of like what are the staples for each hero or class. I think that might be a really good video. But yeah, this is what I have right now. Hopefully this makes sense. Like, this isn't meant to be like every little Natas detail specific, but at least if you're a new player, this 100% gives you an idea of like deck lists to look at, how much it costs, what can I take out to make it a little bit cheaper, things of that nature. So let me know, based off this content, if there's anything else you want to see. If you like this content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe if you want to. If not, it's totally fine. No issues there. And yeah, join Discord down below if you want to. Have a really fun time, whether you're a Ninja player or not. We almost have 300 people in the Discord now. It's super awesome. Crazy big. It's crazy how insane it's gotten. So I'll keep putting out content as much as I can, more outsider stuff that's coming up. And yeah, we'll keep rolling. But if y'all have a good rest of your week, and I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.